up here, you'd be able to see it. This is getting down around downtown St. Louis. It's right whenever you get ready to get on the Stan Musial Bridge up here. That's neighborhood next to his neighborhood there. See? But right up here, you'll be able to see the Gateway Arch. That's the arch over there. See the bridge going across? That's the Stan Musial Bridge over there. And then right up here is the neighborhood Redd Foxx grew up in. It's well, all of St. Louis is pretty bad nowadays. It's one of the most dangerous places in America. But it wasn't this bad when Redd Foxx grew up in that neighborhood. And they tore the building down that said Redd Foxx forgives you. Look at that old church up there on the hill. I don't know if you can see it or not. Blocked it. There's the arch. Straight ahead there. See it over there? This phone it's not an iPhone. Those iPhones get a lot better. See, that's the neighborhood Redd Foxx grew up in there. And then that building, it was right, that last exit back there. But he grew up in that neighborhood right there. And that sign, it said Redd Foxx. It wasn't a sign, somebody spray painted it on there. Look at that dude moving up. See, that's the neighborhood he grew up in right here. Probably went to that school. That school's abandoned now, it's closed down, but probably went there for grade school and shit. We're going to Illinois, so we gotta get on 70 East, and when you get over on the other side of the river, it turns into 64. See, we're gonna take this over to 64. East St. Louis, Missouri St. Louis is on the Missouri and the Illinois side of the river. There's the arch over there. Hopefully you guys can see it. Gateway Arch. And then this is the Stan Musial Bridge. It's named after Stan the Man Musial, St. Louis baseball player. And that right there is the mighty Mississippi River. If that river could talk, or if it would ever run dry, the shit they would find in that river. Just now past the Illinois state line. So this side is East St. Louis. Then you got West, North, and South St. Louis on the Missouri side. But yeah, Redd Foxx grew up in that neighborhood, and then Tina Turner, she don't ever admit it, but she grew up in East St. Louis. Jackie Joyner-Kersee, she was an American Olympics runner. She grew up in East St. Louis. There was a famous male tennis player. He's the one that loses his temper all the time. McEnroe. He grew up in the town Amy and Nate were born and raised in. But yeah, East St. Louis is all down in here, and then it stays to the right side of the highway up here. It's so dangerous. At one time they were talking about putting like gates, a wall and like toll booth kind of gates, because people were getting off wrong exits and not getting back on the highway. Very, very dangerous. Probably the most dangerous for the amount of people. There's more murders there than anywhere in the country. And most of the downtowns all boarded up and abandoned buildings, and it's really And it used to be the industrial part of St. Louis, and it's always been the red light district. But believe it or not, East St. Louis at one time was where all the very rich and wealthy people lived, was on the east side. And now it's having real problems. Whenever I was getting in trouble going to prison, East St. Louis, they had 2 police cars and the radio only worked in one of them. That's all East St. Louis there. My parole office was over that way, but there's a lot of the lots where there used to be houses are just empty, because when houses are abandoned for a long time, the people just burn them down, because gangs use them to stash drugs and guns and shit in, and so they just burn them down. Yeah, that's East St. Louis over there. But I just want to share that about Redd Foxx. John Goodman, who was on the sitcom Roseanne and some movies, he's from St. Louis. And then, what's his name? The guy that has that baseball bat called Lucille in The Walking Dead, he's from St. Louis. I don't like that he calls his bat Lucille, though, because that's what B.B. King, the great blues player, called his guitar, was Lucille. As far as I'm concerned, that name was taken. Should have named his fucking bat something else, you know. But yeah, every gas station down there in East St. Louis, they got bulletproof glass. You tell them what you want, you put your money in the drawer. They pull the drawer back and they put whatever you wanted in there in your change. It's all bulletproof glass so the people working can't get shot. That's a Metrolink station. It's a train that goes all the way out to Scott Air Force Base on the Illinois side, and then the Missouri side, it comes all the way to the Lambert Airport. Metrolink. They've had people shot on that too. But this is where me and Nate and Amy grew up, over here on the east side. When I was in Arizona, I had a friend, Tanel. His mom invited us over for a party, and she heard my voice was deep, and she had this real fancy karaoke machine. She kept trying to get me to sing, and I said, I can't sing. Well, Mark got drunk enough that I finally went up there and I sang my heart out. I can't remember what I sung. I think it was the Johnny Cash song. I sung my heart out, though, and I got done singing, walked over, and Tanel's mother goes, sweetheart, you have got a beautiful voice, but don't ever sing again. You just noised all of us. And I said, I told you I couldn't sing. And she goes, I know, darling, and now I believe you. But whenever we first got there, she said, Tanel said that you and your wife's from St. Louis. She goes, we're from St. Louis too. Where'd you live at in St. Louis? I said, I lived over on the east side. And she said, she goes, baby, I'm black and I don't even go to the east side. But yeah, it's pretty sporting over here. Definitely, for a long time, St. Louis was #1 in murders every year in the country. They talk about Chicago, Los Angeles a lot, but for the amount of people, more people get taken out here in St. Louis than anywhere. And they got the saying, you know, hustle city, because of the STL. There's no hustle without the STL. It's nothing to be proud of that your city's the most violent in the country almost every year. We had, it's been almost 3 years ago now, but we had 140 something children shot in the crossfire from gang members shooting at each other. One of them was because mom and dad didn't keep the gun secured, and the kid got a hold of it. But the rest of them were crossfire, getting shot in the crossfire when two gangs shooting at each other, kids and innocent people getting caught in the middle. But I'm gonna hop off here. I just wanted to share that Redd Foxx thing with y'all. Look, Amy packed me a cooler with my ice thing so I don't get too hot. She's always thinking of me. But much love to all of you.